Um, okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Idan Cohen, and I'm going to talk with you about icon fonts. Before we start, I want to let you in on a little secret. What you see here, this is not an image. I didn't have to bother any designer to create it for me. This is a font. It's a character, just like A or B or 1 or 3, and I can manipulate it. I can change the color, the size. You're going to see all the amazing things I can do with it. And it's all pure CSS. Actually, everything you're going to see today is web-based. Everything is pure CSS, which means I didn't have to bother any designer for it. No designers were hurt during the production of this presentation. Okay, so first, a little bit about myself. And by the way, this is also not an image, this is an icon. I'm a full-stack developer at the HPLN team for 2 years, but those of you who know me know my main focus is front-end development, which puts me on the stitch between developers and designers. And as you know, as you've learned, all good developers are usually lazy. But it's good laziness, because it makes us find new tools that will make our job easier, that will help us to deliver our product faster and still make the UX happy. And today I wish to talk to you about one of these tools that makes our job easier, namely icon fonts. And as you've probably guessed, all of these are fonts. And now, before I show you all the really amazing things we can do with font icons and how, let's start with the most important question. Why? Why would anyone use a monochromatic symbol when you can use a perfectly good, colorful, vivid image? Now, as it happens, I have one of those with me here today. This is an image. And this is not a font. No one can code this. There's no HTML tag or CSS attribute that can create something this magnificent. But on the other hand, me as a developer can't really do anything with it. There's no kind of manipulation I can do to this element without causing what I guess you all hate the most. Our evil enemy, pixelation. That no one really wants. It's a terrible thing, no one wants it. And you might ask, okay, so I can't manipulate it programmatically, so what? Luckily, our team is blessed with a very talented designer, Adi. Adi, you can stop filming, that's fine. My battery will run out. And I'm sure Adi can do everything I ask her for. If I need a small version of the picture, a big version, a pink version, she can do everything. That's not the problem. The problem is that you can't always know, and I'm sure you all know this, you can't always know in advance what you need. A living project, an agile project is always changing, always evolving, new needs rises, and you want to keep this process as fluent as you can, without blocks, because if the developer has to run to the designer every day for the designer to make cut the files, create the image files, it causes blocks. If the designer has to spend time on cutting these images, it causes blocks, and blocks are a terrible thing, not only for a project timeline, but also because blocked developers are a very ugly thing. They just sit there, drink coffee, telling geeky jokes. No one likes that. So you'll want to use tools that will make the work as fluent as you can. I'll give you an example from my project, the project we're working on, the HPE Live Network. Those of you who doesn't know, it's a huge content place with over 10,000 page views every day. But obviously that's not good enough, so we're rebuilding it from scratch. Everything is being rethought, redesigned, and everything in a completely new technology. and with a completely new visual language for the HPE. But all of that is being done while still maintaining the current project portal, which looks something like this. So you can all imagine that we're doing a lot of the process as we go and under very strict deadlines. Our UX Shachar, where is he? Hi Shachar. He knows it better than anyone. When we started working on this project, and I'm sure you can all relate, he gathered all the developers in our team and he said, guys, nothing would make me happier than to provide you a full, comprehensive UX detailed to the very last scenario. But we have to be realistic here, and we're working under very strict deadlines. And even though not everyone here are doing what we're doing, building a new project from scratch, let me ask you something, and with a raise of hands, answer me honestly. How many of you designed a feature and that was it? You finished your job, you could just go home, drink some coffee, and you weren't needed anymore for the development process. Did anyone had this experience? No. And on the other hand, how many of you, in spite your best wishes and your best will, created and designed a feature, but were needed again and again and again during the development process, because it's a ping pong, things rise. How many of you had this experience? A lot. Thank you. So let's use tools, and this is what I'm going to show you today. Let's use tools that accommodate this flow, because it's not a unique flow. It's not just our team, it's everyone. And let's use tools that helps us avoid block, and most importantly, tools that let designers design and developers develop, because designers don't need to waste time on cutting images. They should make the best UI they can, and developers should concentrate on implementing this UI, not chasing designers all day for every little image variation. So, as I said, one of those tools is icon fonts, and without further ado, let us show you what we can do with font icons. And as I said, everything here is done purely with CSS. Actually, I'm going to show you the CSS I'm using, so if any extra lazy developer gives you problem and says, no, I can't do that, you can tell him that you saw how easy it is, and he can do it, that lazy developer. Okay, so here is our font. You all know it, nothing too special here. It can be a letter, it can be a number, but also it can be a symbol. Any symbol you like, and once you have the right symbol, you can do amazing things with it. First of all, as you all know, you can change the color. And all done purely with CSS. Almost. Oh, there you go. This is the right color. I tattooed it on my back, by the way.
The color of the symbol.
Oh, the microphone. Yeah. And by the way, for those of you who aren't in our site, I heard the rumor that they cut down the trees recently outside. That's to plant new trees with the right kind of green. Okay, so this technique is very useful. The fact that you can color your images for every scenario, for hover states, for different backgrounds, it's amazing. And you can also, we can do it. We can show you in our project, the project we're building right now, we can change the color scheme like that. We did it. And you can do it with just pointing at the screen. Let me see it in this color, and let me see it in this color. Ask Adi, it really works, and easily you just change everything, all the hover states with just a single line. Instead of creating endless pictures, you change one line of code and you get a completely new color scheme. Okay, and in addition to color, you all know you can change the size of fonts. You can change the size of fonts without hindering even the slightest bit of quality. So even if you use Retina, if you design for Retina, everything will be impeccable, always in the perfect resolution, because as you know, fonts are vector based. And colors and sizes is what everyone knows, but it's not everything. Did you know you can also rotate icons? And not only rotate in 90 degrees, you can also spin it in any angle you want. And it's very simple, again, with a single, almost, there you go. With a single line of code, just change the rotation and you get your symbol in any angle you want. Pretty neat, huh? Now remember, it's all pure CSS. I didn't have to bother a single designer for even 1 second. If anything doesn't look good, I can easily change it, no problem, because changes do happen. Things sometimes don't look as you expected and you want to have the tools to change it easily. Here's another really nice thing that is done purely with CSS. This is obviously not mine, but I thought you should see it so you will know what you can do without graphics. This is pure CSS and animation.
Graphic designers is overrated.
No, they just need to concentrate on design, not cutting images. And this is what I want to show you that you can do. You can describe this and let the developer build it. You don't have to do all the hard work. Let us do it. We like it. Okay, so yes.
Idan?
Yes.
I have a question. Do we need special requirements from browser supports in order to support such kind of CSS playing?
Yes, I think font face doesn't work in Explorer 6. But other than that, as long as you develop for 7 and above, everyone support font face, this is actually a font.
But I have a question.
Yes, of course.
There was a claim in the past that some versions of Chrome didn't cause some anti-aliasing around the font types, and the icons didn't look crisp.
Very
is that
true.
Still true?
It was until just like 6 months ago. Chrome created.
Repeat the question because they don't understand.
Oded asked whether the rendering in Chrome looks good or adequate, because until recently, Chrome in certain sizes didn't render fonts so well. So since like version 42, 48, I don't know, that came out 6 months ago, you can render fonts in any size and they will look impeccable, I promise you.
Did they update the versions before as well with the fix, or does it only apply for new Chrome, people that use a new installation of Chrome?
I'm not sure. It's evergreen, so basically 99% probably has this feature. Okay, so...
Another question.
Yes, of course.
Airlines icons also looks broken. Usually, from my perspective, I saw that the lines are broken when it's font icons. Do you have any experience with it?
Can you
Airline
expand?
icons, icons that are not solid but line. The line looks broken in most of the times I have an experience with it.
Since it's vector-based...
Repeat the question.
Oh, yeah. The question was, how come when you, correct me if I'm wrong, when you really expand the font icons, you see that sometimes the line don't really connect?
They're in this specific style of icons, the new icons that are relevant to HP, the hairline icons, which are not a solid state but are hairline in the drawing. Reuven says that it breaks the lines sometimes when you're using fonts in different sizes.
It could be because basically it's all based on vectors. So if the vectors, you all design vectors, if the lines don't really connect, when you they can look connected when you zoom out, but when you zoom really in, you can see that the lines aren't necessarily connected. So if you have a good origin, good vector images to create your font icon, you shouldn't have this problem.
Not exactly. It happens when the line is less, like in small versions of icons, the line is less than 1 pixel wide. It looks broken, while in PNG it creates anti-aliasing and then it works.
Repeat the question.
The question was what happens when the font is really small and the line width is less than 1 pixel? How does it align? Again, with the basic.
Idan, it's something that the SVG need to be making right. So it's depend on the designer in that case.
Exactly. I think font rendering should work until 1 pixel. Of course, you lose details when you get even Arial or Tahoma into 1 pixel. But as long as your origin is good, you should be fine as long as you have the room to render it. And again, in the new Chrome, it looks great. Okay, so before we can do all these amazing things, we have to create the font. Now, I'm not going to get really deep into all the technical details on creating fonts. But before I do that, I'm sorry, I want to talk to you about one of the most amazing things I came across while working on it, and that's accessibility. What is the accessibility problem? Well, as you can see on the top of the screen, this is what you will see, the logo of HPE. But screen readers, for people that use screen readers, that read it out loud to them, screen readers don't care about font.
Also, search engines don't care about it.
Also, search engines don't care about it. You're right. The font is not important. What's important is the text behind it. And actually, the text behind the HPE logo is this. This is some kind of an HTML character. I'm not sure which one, but it's not important. This is what screen readers will see. Now, you might imagine that you can solve it easily with alt attribute. You know, HTML tags like images, you put the alt, and this is what screen readers or search engines see. But the problem is, alt is only the second best. When the screen reader and the search engines see I have actual text, he'll always use and choose the actual text, and this is actual text. So screen readers will ignore your alt text. So, after a little research with Oded's help, we came out with a very nice solution. I'm going to start at the bottom here what the final solution is. The final solution consists of 2 parts. The first part is the font icon itself. Now, if you notice, it has an attribute called ARIA hidden. Oh, there you go. It has an attribute ARIA hidden, which means for screen readers, don't show this. I don't want it to be shown. But it has another HTML element right after it that has a class called SR only, which means for screen readers only. So what happens is when you render this HTML, this becomes the icon and everyone can see it. But if you see it through a screen reader, this will be ignored, while this will be displayed, and you can write here whatever you want. Now, writing 2 HTML elements, that's exhausting for a developer. So we came up with a very useful solution for our team. We use a single element, and then Angular compiles it into what you see at the bottom. And as you see, a single element with the name of the icon, and we're using the same attribute you already know, alt, which is later converted into this. Now, this solution was so successful, on a personal note, that we submitted it to the official Angular Font Awesome, which is a very popular module, and it is now an official. This feature is now an official part of Angular for Font Awesome, and that's really nice. Thank you. And hopefully we really helped a lot of other people. So without further ado, let's see how you can create font icon. Now, I have to give all the credit. Yes, of course.
SR only. it is Bootstrap class?
Excellent question. Yes, this is a Bootstrap class, but you can actually copy it and use it outside of Bootstrap.
Yes, okay, because it is depends on your application. If it is a mobile application, I saw there are some Android devices that are not working very well with this class. So be aware for that.
It's an excellent comment. I must admit that I wasn't aware of that. I'll look it up and come back to you. But the bottom line is that if there's some kind of CSS missing, you can always add it. If there's a version that doesn't show it well, you can always add it. But this feature has been a part of the Font Awesome package for over a month, and till now, not even a single defect. So maybe you have a new one, but we can always find solutions.
When I work on my application, so I saw this when I test it on some devices, all devices. So
good to know. I'd be happy if you can show it to me later. I'll be happy to find a solution for it as well.
Okay.
Thanks, Dan.
No problem. Done.
Done. Okay, so I want to show you how you can create those icon fonts so you can use them in your own project, but the credit for this goes purely to Adi. She's the one who taught me how to use it. Thank you very much, Adi, and she will explain to you exactly how to do it. I want to do a very quick walkthrough. I have at least 3 tools that I found. What we use is fantastic, but you can use each one of these tools that you will find fitting. And you can see this is my small face. I can just select them and publish it. Now adding this link to your CSS, to your HTML, adding this link is all you need. That's it. You're done. It's unbelievably easy. If you want it on your site, which I do recommend, you can download it and install it on your project. But it's a single line of code. And once you have this as part of your project, every element that you give this class to will have the icon in it. So it's very easy to implement. Don't let any developer tell you it's hard. It's very, very easy. And I want to show you an example of how we actually use it in our project. This is our project. I'm sure it's a first view for most of you. By the way, can you guess how many font icons we're using in this front page? Let's do a quick count. 1, this is a font icon from the header, HPE header. We have this one, we have this one, we have these ones, and see how they change color this easily. We didn't have to create 3 variations with 2 variations of color. It's all done with a pure CSS, all the logos here, the stars of course as well, and a few other things that are hidden right now. But what I want to show you is exactly how we use it. 1 second. Okay, this is our showcase. This is an internal tool that helps us spread knowledge across the project. This is the icon part. This is how to use icons in very different variations. But one of the most important things we have here is the icon list. Now, these are all the icons that Adi prepared for us based on the HPE, Grome, and based on our specific needs. When I want one of these icons, all I need to do is just copy it and paste it right here, and we have an icon, and they work great, including the spinning one you saw earlier. Now, I'm very close to finishing. Let me just show you one last really cool thing. After Adi created all these icons for us, she still had work to do. Which was to create these icons for us whenever we needed them outside the web, for prints, for presentations. So I didn't want to make her life so hard, so we created this little thing that actually converts the icons she made back into PNG images. So you can select any icon you want. I like the bug. And you can also change the color. and simply download the PNG and use it whichever way you want. Oh no, it opens the Firefox. Oh no, that was fast. Wow, great for you, Adobe. And you get it as an image, a PNG image that you can use anywhere you want, which makes Adi's life easier, I hope. That's it, everyone. Thank you very much. I would like to have the discussion that mentioned.
I have a